Yo, what is up, everyone? Right, so this generation, 5000 series or the 9000 series for AMD? What do I recommend? uh, for me personally, I do not care for this generation. Uh, yeah, just not much on the table for me, but for someone else, if you got a 3000 series graphics card from Nvidia or a AMD 6000 series, uh, looking at the prices, looking at the performance, benchmarks and stuff, I think the 5070 Ti looks pretty good. It's pretty much a 4080 from what I've seen. Uh, it's neck and neck with the 4080. I think the 4080 is slightly better, but not by much. And some games of 5070 Ti, surprisingly, does do slightly bit better than 4080. So if that's £800, it's not over a grand, so that's pretty good because the 4080 is actually 1000, just over 1000 where I live. So yeah, that ain't too bad when you look at it like that. Obviously the 5090. Now, totally, I'm, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, apart from the pricing is ridiculous, the melting is ridiculous, and the ROPS, missing ROPS, I mean, that's even more ridiculous. I mean, bloody hell. I mean, you could get a card. I mean, imagine the people that are sleeping outside of Micro Center. They pick one up, then they find out the fucking hardware is fucked because all the you got like 7 ROPs missing or whatever. So you got to RMA it, then wait even longer for one. So yeah, not too impressed with that at all. Then you got the chance of it melting. Uh, I suppose at least if it melted, you might get 4 months out of it. uh, then for AMD, I don't really care much about that generation because it don't offer me much either. I mean, so if you got the flagship cards, apart from a 5090, no good. If you've got a mid-range sort card, I think it depends on the price, depends on the uplift, uh, depends on your priorities for gaming. I mean, if you get the 9070 XT, FSR4 will be coming to it, which is a plus. Upscaling is very important now in a lot of games, so you do need a good upscaler. A lot of people will prefer Nvidia for DLSS, and the path tracing you can use. Performance mode is very good now. Uh, I think at 4K I'd probably rather use performance. I haven't really tested it too much at 1440p performance. I still think that's a bit low, but I'm still to investigate that. See how good it is at 1440p because you're rendering from 720p. So I'm not too. I think at 1440p, the lowest I would go would be DLSS quality. I don't think I'll go balance or performance, but definitely at 4K, I've got no worries about DLSS performance. DLS, DLSS4 anyway. I think that looks pretty good. Um, so yeah, Nvidia gives you all that. Looking at AMD's FSR performance on Ratchet and Clank, that did um, looks a lot better than the current FSR3. So that's good. Uh, Ultimately, I think it's going to depend on the prices, what your needs are as a gamer. Is it really worth some of these prices for the higher end? Where I live, the 5080 is like 1,600 for the best models, 1,400, something like that. And I didn't want to pay that myself for 5080, so I just went out and got a used 4090 for pretty much, I think it was 1,450 I paid for mine, and it's in really good condition, grade A. Yeah, nothing wrong. It's been working like a dream so far. nothing wrong with it whatsoever. So I'm happy with that. It suits my needs as a gamer, and I'm literally going to roll with that until the next generation. So since I got that, not too bothered about this generation at all now. But I'm interested to see what other people think, what they're going to do. So I just thought I'd make a video about it, but definitely I think the best value for money cards could be the 5070 Ti, and because you're getting the 4080, and looking at the market, you got to do what's best in this market. And there's not much on offer for me for the price, the value of the card, but that don't look too bad, to be honest. And then the 9070 XT, depending on the price, if it comes out just over 600, could be doable. Some people, they might think, yeah, I'll ditch Nvidia this generation. I'm not going to tell you what one to get, but all I will say is, I know a lot of people were worried about going AMD, but for me it was a solid experience, and I would recommend it if you don't want to pay the Nvidia prices. Obviously you'd have to, you wouldn't be using path tracing, you'd have a worse upscaler, but with FSR4 literally coming around the corner, I do think it could narrow the gap enough for a lot of people to think, nah, I couldn't give up DLSS for that if it actually lives up to its potential and does eliminate all the weaknesses of FSR3. So that's my views on it. Yeah, I think it's quite an interesting. It's an interesting generation, but at the same time, it's a pretty shit one for me. But then there is value there for some people who've got older generation cards or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts in it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.